the point I wanted to make, and that I did make, was that it's not all about Travis Hittson. It's not all about the defendant. There's another person who also needs to be heard from and who needs to have some people in their corner, and that was the victim, Conway Utterback. And so I told them that I was there to speak for him and that I was in his corner, and made that point to the board. One of the points I made with the parole board was that the fact that Edward Vollmer, the co-defendant, didn't get a death sentence, the fact that he got life, that should not inure to the benefit of Travis Hittson, who a jury did recommend death on and who a judge did impose a death sentence. And frankly, the facts of the case were that it was Travis Hittson that, hit Mr. Utterback several times with an aluminum baseball bat in the head. It was Travis Hittson who, pointed the gun at Mr. Utterback as he begged and pleaded for his life, and frankly shot him in the forehead and executed him. And the execution that I wanted them to think about for a few moments and to have in their minds as they made their decision was the execution of Mr. Utterback. And that execution was carried out without any appeal, without any clemency hearing, without any habeas corpus, without any rights whatsoever, without anybody being in his corner, that being the victim, Mr. Utterback. And that execution was, in fact, carried out by Mr. Hittson. And so, I tried to draw that distinction and that juxtaposition that, everybody and all the people, and I know there were a lot of them, wanted to make this all about, Travis Hittson and his death sentence and his execution. But let's not forget that there was another execution that took place 20 years ago at the hands of Mr. Hittson. And to me, that was a very important fact, and I wanted to kind of drive that point home with the parole board. My opinion was that Edward Vollmer should never get out of prison. He should never be granted any type of parole, and that if he ever came up for parole, that I'd be happy to come to Atlanta and speak in opposition to it. I can tell you, I took no joy in it, in going and watching, that occur. It is not at all a situation where prison officials or prosecutors or the law enforcement folks sit around and revel in it or take any joy. There's no high-fiving going on, if you will. It's a very solemn and somber thing, as it should be. It's extremely serious. It is the ultimate carrying out of justice in our society. It is the ultimate punishment that somebody can receive, and it was something I felt was important. If I, as a prosecutor, am going to make the decision and seek the death penalty on somebody, I want to know everything I can know about it. I want to know how the process works. I want to know how it's carried out. I want to know, I want to be fully informed about that, about what the results and the consequences are of the decisions that I make. Something that, you think long and hard about it. I pray about it. I seek wise counsel from other prosecutors, and then you make that decision. And so, having been there last night and seen one carried out, again, that's something that's going to allow me to make good decisions and seek a death penalty only when it's justified and appropriate.